Hey everyone, welcome to the Sky Realm, another episode here with Homie and the Dude. I'm Bodhi, your unexceptional dungeon master, and I'm here with our exceptional cast of players. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Amazing. Quick shout out to the editing team, Becky and Ben. Shout out to art team, Jay, Josh, Victor, and Alex. Shout out to Underground Oracle Publishing for their amazing content. We can't do this without you guys. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us. And if we look back upon last episode, our players basically got into their evening wear and prepared for some festivities on the island. However, before they got into festivities, Olafur, the gentleman who had arrived at a similar time to them to help out here on Lacrima, presented them with a bit of a offering, basically, to join him and a group that he works for called the Water Runners. And he basically offered the players a chance to join him in becoming semi-vigilantes and helping out those in need, basically, across the sky during this very oppressive time that we are living in. From there, the players enjoyed a little bit of music and partying. They got the tavern on Lacrima Le Croix Brewery, pretty hopping to start off with to start the night. Then, as the night continued and more drinking ensued and partying continued, we found the players engaged in a game of Fool's Paradise, a card game very similar to poker. From there, we played a game of Dwarven Roulette, a drinking game involving drinking ciders and pee, as it so happens. And then from there, we rounded out the night where Arnar asked Olafur some hard-hitting questions while he was a little bit out of it, but got some nice answers because of the level of intoxication, and found out that the Water Runners are in some way being funded by the Claw Mafia in the People's Republic. Finally, Rom and Blanco had a very nice scene where they had a little chat, and from there, everyone went to bed. Finally, the players experienced another strange collective dream where they were transported to a body far away in some lecture hall. During the lecture, some gentleman talked about true names and how they connect with the soul more, and it's something that you grow into as opposed to get given. And then he mentioned something about a spell that he had created. From there, the bell rang and the lecture ended. And as you were leaving, you asked the gentleman a question about how he could possibly reverse this spell. From there, the dream ended and you were sucked back into your bodies as you all awoke the next day on Lacrima. And that is where we begin this episode. So, if everyone is sitting comfortably, then let's begin. We find yes.
Question: is that university the same university that I went to in the People's Republic, or is this a different place?
The lecture hall that you saw is not one that you recognize.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to clarify.
Cool. So, as you guys all awake the next day in your various places of sleep, whether it be across the tavern itself or within bunks or beds in the tavern and inn, you guys all awake and kind of, get your stuff together, begin, collecting any bits that you may have, lost throughout the night. Evis is, missing one of the arm sleeves and goes and grabs that, and, everyone's kind of getting all their little bits and bobs as they go around and begin preparing for the 11 o'clock departure that you guys had set with Olafur. Over to you guys if there's anything you'd like to do before you meet Olafur by the dock.
I think
we're all
together, right?
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to overspeak you. Sorry.
no, I'm sorry. I think Evis is actually going to get up early in the morning and take some time underneath the tree to see if they can commune with Alia to, determine if she can give any kind of indication if this is the right choice. Like, if this is the direction that she would like them to go into.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. I would love you to make either a nature or a arcana check, whichever you prefer. Never mind.
I can absolutely do that. Ooh, okay. The arcana check is going to be 16. So yeah, they're like sitting, cobbler's pose, which, in yoga, that's like your feet sticking together, knees pointed out. In that, like, someone got to do it to him, like, hand position. But yeah, that's just kind of how they, like, sit and, like, feel the breeze through, like, their hair and across their shoulders. And that's kind of like what they do to meditate.
With a 16, with your meditation, you feel all that wind, and you very much tune into that noise. It's almost like everything else fades out in the background, and you hear that whooshing and that swirling kind of sound of the wind. And as you do, you reach outwards, and you reach for something. You reach for a voice. You reach for this entity that your people have followed for so long. That you have been taught to for so many years. And as you reach out and you reach to the light to try and touch it, you wait for a second, and it's just silence. And you try a little bit harder, you push your mind deeper, and you really focus in, and suddenly you just hear just the faintest of almost like what I would call like a bird song. But the bird song is so distant and far that it sounds like a choir. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of beautiful bird song that's going on. And as you do, you reminisce back to your days in the Kazakh monastery, sat practicing meditation and struggling to hear that song, struggling to hear, the inner peace that you believe should come when you meditate to Alia. And yet now, as someone who has spent many years practicing, those bird sounds are welcoming. They're not surprising. They are, comforting. That's something that feels at home and safe to you. And with that, they begin to just kind of trickle off into the day. Usually, from your past experiences, this has been your connection. You hear that kind of song, that kind of sound, and you know that someone out there is listening.
Okay. Yeah, Evis, their eyes open, blink a couple times, and take a deep, like, cleansing breath, filling their lungs fully up with the air that gives them life. And then, slowly, surely, they get up, a little bit more resolute than before, although there is still that nagging in the back of their head that it shouldn't have taken this long for Alia to have given any kind of indication.
I love it. Absolutely amazing. Anyone else got anything else that they're hoping to get done this morning before they board Olafur's ship, as he said that he had?
Myself and Rishi. That's the first thing I'll do in the morning. And I want to talk to her. I want to tell everyone because it happened again. I dreamed, and I don't dream. Like, I haven't dreamed ever, and I want to see if it happened for everybody else. But Reshi, I dreamed again. Like, I'm taking that as a good sign, but it's also your only sign. Like, we need to develop some kind of communication, like an up and a down, or yes and a no. Like 2 for no. Yeah, that's what we'll do. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Or happy, negative. Okay.
What language is Reshi speaking? Is it like a real language, or is it like a what kind of?
It is a language that I believe I've checked through your guys' languages. I don't think anyone has this language.
Okay.
So I want to leave that as it is because I don't want to say any more.
Gotcha.
Don't want to reveal anything from Ryan's character. But Reshi acknowledges what you've said, kind of hovering in front of you, kind of arcing, to keep themselves aflight, as kind of the dragons without wings do. And when you say 1 for yes, 2 for no, it's like.
I love you too. And I kind of cuddle her, and then when I'm still in the sitting in my seat. Well, I guess as I collapsed, I maybe made a hole in the bench. But yeah, so I stand up and then check to see if anyone else is awake.
Amazing.
If no one else is, I just kind of sit there until we do.
Cool. Anyone else got any personal bits they want to do? Anything? I assume R&R gets up and does some stretching as per.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I was going to ask. Yes, Blanco, my apologies.
Blanco gets up and pulls the ring on the chain, and just the touch of it has given him renewed energy to continue the mission. He had been feeling sort of a little bit sort of lost. He hadn't, just wasn't finding what he wanted. But now Cecil having given him this ring and reminding him of what needs to be done, and just feeling that this group of people and beasts and others, creatures and the like around him, he just feels that there's this sense of more energy than he's had for a long time. And so he sort of gets up and instead of sort of going down, he sort of almost bounds down the stairs from his bunk down into the main part, and he's sort of excited to get this going.
Amazing. Cool. If everyone else is, yes, Gio, go for it.
So Gio was early in the morning was tipped over by one of the cleaners in the cream of the crop so that he could get back onto his feet, and he goes outside and he's feeling embarrassed for some of the actions from the night before, and he's reflecting on that in that he was so excited to hear the news that Uncle Ace is, and the stories of Uncle Ace were actually true and confirmed by Olafur. And that was a moment that I think gave him almost a false confidence about the energy of this group, and this mission was all happening so quickly. And in the process of that, he became a little bit overzealous with his betting at the game, and he's lost his 2 watches, and he's thinking about things as a young creature thinks about things through their maturation, and understands that although things can go well, if you are too aggressive and maybe even too reckless in your confidence, that you can be set back a little bit. So he's feeling a little bit set back today in kind of how the night ended. He's got a little bit too drunk, lost his watches, but underneath that, he is feeling a little bit enthusiastic about the thought that Uncle Ace not only exists, but the stories that he grew up hearing about him were true. And he knows that at this point, there is no confirmation that Uncle Ace is dead. So the mission continues, but he's definitely feeling a little bit less full of himself this morning.
Can I just ask, how did he know what time to get up and be ready?
Oh no!
Question.
That's the ship.
Exactly. That's exactly the point on why he's just not feeling his best right now. If he could be blushing, his turtle skin might be blushing and just a little bit, almost ashamed, a little bit of ashamed this morning.
Oh.
So do you see? Is this noticeable to all of us? I mean, is this something that would that be perception to pick it up that he might be?
Yeah,
He's a little bit quiet.
I was gonna say,
when he gets back with the group, he's just a little bit quiet.
I was gonna say, as it seems like everyone's kind of making their way downstairs to the main room in Lacrima is how it feels, how you're all doing. As you all kind of arrive there, everyone, Reshi's out with Rom, and R&R is limber for sure, definitely walking nice, and no stiffness there. Evis is looking more calm than maybe last night during the games. and Blanco seems to have a bit of a pep in their step, where Gio, it's not hard to notice, is maybe a little bit quieter this morning.
So Toad's still buzzing from last night at the show, because after show you can always have that kind of afterglow, kind of, yeah. So he's gonna, I'm gonna fly over to Gio. I'm gonna play that song that he whistled, give him bardic inspiration, because I'm gonna see him kind of down. So I'm gonna play that song that he whistled out like this. Really cool tune that you whistled yesterday. Just want to say, everything cool. You seem a little down, a little more somber.
Thanks, Toad. Yeah, everything's pretty cool. I'm ready to get on the ship and to move on the next step of our journey together. And I guess I don't know what I did last night. I guess
You had some fun, it looks like, you know.
And I'm trying to. I'm pretty young, Toad, and I've not been out in this way my entire life, and I just hope I fulfill my ambitions, and I also hope I don't let you guys down. And I felt like I learned a lot last night.
So, as you guys are kind of having this conversation, the clock begins, coming towards that time, and
Can I give Rayward his slipper back? Sorry, to just interrupt. We're going on the boat.
So what I was going to say
Not
is
the bell, just the slipper.
that is totally fine. So as you guys are kind of stood there, a couple of the townsfolk begin coming into the pub, and it seems like a lot of them are panda-eyed, very hungover, and have definitely gotten up earlier than they would like. But you can see there's some people there that you guys recognize. There's Cecil the blacksmith has come. His assistant Kenji is there. You can see the Garmin sisters, Coriander and Basil. You can see Agnes and Rayward have come. Thatch and his wife are there. And the butcher is also there as well. And they've all kind of come to say goodbye to you guys. And as you guys all these people begin filtering in, Olafur makes his way downstairs, and he's like, brilliant to see all of you. I hope you all slept fantastically well. And with that being said, are you ready to go?
I think so. Are we? Is Rayward here? Have I given the slipper back? Sorry.
Rayward is in the room. Rayward is in the room at the moment.
Well, I'll just go off. I'm sorry, I'm too small. I need a bigger one. But thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And he takes it, and
it's not out of kindness. It's just I don't need it.
Okay, well, nonetheless, thank you. He slides the sandal back on. You can see he walked over here with just one sandal on, and he slides the sandal on. And he's like, you win some, you lose some. I was happy for you to keep it. It's one of those things.
I appreciate it, but I've been told it smells. I don't have a nose, but someone did say earlier, like last night. Real bad.
He maybe a little bit. Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Well, you know what? I would love to play with you. Maybe next time you come, it would be a pleasure to play with you again, and I'll bet my other slipper this time.
I'll bring a slipper as well, and then, cool.
I think that sounds like a great plan to me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Olafur stands. He's like, everyone ready to go? Yes?
I just, momentito, I just need to have a word with one person. And I go, Kenji, no mind. Cecil, he speaks harsh words, but I think he has a good heart. He gave me the ring, so there is promise there. Stay with it and be a loyal servant. He will see your value and your goodness. I have seen some great work that you are producing, and I know great work. Keep with it.
Well, damn, I appreciate that, Blanco, and he's not that bad. He's just got a temper on him. You know how it is. And he looks over at Cecil, who's kind of over by the bar, and you can see him picking at one of his nails, and he's getting angrier as he's picking at his nail. He's just like, God, and he keeps picking over there. He's like, it's okay though, and he kind of gestures to Toad and kind of ushers Blanco over and goes, actually, Mr. Toad and Blanco, you both say such kind things. The other day, Mr. Toad, when you spoke to me, it really, like, it sung in my ears, and it rang true to me that I am meant for bigger and better, and I want to go to Thembador. I want to meet the Master Smiths, and maybe find Ulrich one day. And so when I finish my apprenticeship, I'm going to leave Lacrima, guys. I'm going to do it. I'm going to leave here for the first time and be the first in my family to leave the island and, you know, go elsewhere. And that's thanks to you guys. So I can't tell you how much this all means to me, because I don't know. I was kind of lost, and your guys' words have given me a path. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Anda con Dio, my friend. Walk with God.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I feel like you would have come to that conclusion on your own. So I'm glad we were able to help. But I feel like you would have gotten there yourself too, no matter what. So, and I know you're gonna do some pretty great things. Just don't forget us. You get pretty big of those. So please.
At this
Please remember
moment,
us.
you can see the young gentleman begins shedding a little tear, and he runs forward and hugs both of you in like a little group hug, and hugs you as like, thanks, and hugs you really tight.
And I
Furry.
Toad looks like he's about to pop because just squeezes, so Toad just like just.
Toad's in the middle and getting squeezed between the two of them is like, and he releases it. It's like, thank you, and he's like, I hope you guys travel safe, and you know, whatever you guys go on to do, I know you guys will do great things. I'm sure. You know, we'll see each other again. If I'm in Thembador, you know, stop by, and if I've got a place, which, you know, I'm hoping to get my own little place, you know, hopefully I can have like a futon that you can like stay on or something, you know, like a, you know, something like that.
Likewise.
What you need to do too, need to make sure you're going to show one of our detective cards. Make sure you get some cards. They were Arnar's idea. They're really, really good way of spreading around, you know, so people know where to get you. So yeah. And here's our card too, in case you need to find us again. Here's our card as well.
Oh, amazing. Wow, look how professional. He bends it a little bit. So crisp. Amazing. And puts it away in his pocket, and is super thankful. As this is happening, Agnes walks up to you and is like, hey, I just want to say, you know, earlier when we spoke, you know, it really meant a lot to me, and I just wanted to come today and wish you luck. You know, Is and Pave were amazing people, and they treated me with so much respect, and you know, I just want you to know that I will be saying a prayer for you every night, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey, you know, finding them or you know, whatever you go to do, but I hope you guys get back together, because I know they were missing you so very much when they were here.
Thank you so much, Agnes. I appreciate your kindness and your enthusiasm toward this entire endeavor. May I ask you a question?
She leans in. Yeah, of course. Yeah. What is it?
How did they look? Tired? Weary? Energized?
It's a great question. They were, well, at least from what I could tell, it felt like they were excited, like they were going to this Ordeon's church in the People's Republic, and said that they were doing some missionary work out there, trying to help with some of the downtown people. Or I've never been, so I didn't know really what they were talking about. They said that there was some sort of mission there that they were doing in the church to help with the people downtown or something, and so they were just excited. But the truth is, and the reason I tell you this is because though they were excited, they were missing you, and there was some, not pain, but some longing there that, you know, was definitely the reason why when I saw you, I thought it was important to come and talk to you, because, you know, you should know that they're really missing you. And, you know, they said, you know, last time before they left, you know, it wasn't the best encounter for the three of you. And so, you know, they were just reflecting on it, and just though things weren't the best last time we saw each other, they said that they really, really just miss you, basically.
Yeah, I mean, time apart can be necessary to heal wounds, to grow roots, to sprout wings, but It doesn't make those growing pains hurt any less.
That was very...
Agnes, thank you.
Oh, it's not a problem. That was beautifully put. Like I want to put that on like a t-shirt or something. Spreading wings and growing roots. I really like that. That's amazing. Wow. You're honestly, if I can be half the person you are one day and leave this island with the amount of bravery and calm that you have, I would be delighted to be in that place in my life.
It's very practiced, I'll let you know, but
I can imagine. I can imagine that makes a lot of sense.
But anyone can do it.
I appreciate that. I promise you, next time you come, I will be closer to being more balanced and having a better hold of my stuff. So please come back and visit. Please, when come back with Isan Pave. We should all, do something together. I don't know, like go on like a riverboat trip or something. I don't know. It feels like we could go on some like a Zephyr cruise or do something together.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Just have to find them first.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you will. I'm sure they'll be there waiting for you. I'm sure they'll be there waiting.
Yeah.
And with that, we cut to the other side of the pub, back to Toad and Blanco. And at this point, Kenji's kind of gone off and gone to speak to his mother, who is also kind of pottered in at this point. The woman with the like taller hair, with the flat top, with the like fro on the top of the flat top. And as that's happening, Cecil's kind of made his way over to Blanco, and he taps Blanco on the leg and is like, "Well, not much for saying goodbyes. I hope you find Consol's killer. That's it's super important, and I just wish you the best. The guild will guide you. So
I thank you so much, Cecil. It has been interesting to meet you. I had heard about you from Consor, and my master spoke of you, and it has been my pleasure to meet you, and for this keepsake, you will be forever in my thoughts, and I shall go forward, and I shall revenge my master's death.
I have no doubt that you will do that, that anyone who may cross your path and try and stop you is going to be in for the worst fucking time of their life.
I mean not to harm many. I mean to harm the one. But my mission is my mission. And Consor deserves retribution.
I agree. And with that, he nods at you, and this time there is no bravado, there is no ego, there is no bullshit in this nod from Cecil. When he nods at you as equals. He nods and then kind of steps back into the crowd and goes about his business.
Does Toad hear that?
Yeah,
because Toad's right there.
Yeah, Toad can definitely hear that.
Is that
Rob? If you wanna make a perception check, you can do 2. Go for it.
Oh, don't worry.
Blanco, I didn't mean to. I don't know if I overheard. Wow, that's. You don't. I mean, that sounds personal, so you don't have to share. I mean, whenever you're ready. But whoever it is that needs to be taken out. I mean, I'm not the best fighter, though. Or no, he can. You've seen him. He can damage a person or two. I'll do what I can to help. So whoever needs to be taken down, because if you're going after them, must mean that they deserve it. So I just got your back when that time comes.
For that, I am truly, truly grateful. My mission is long, my mission has been tiring, but being here on Lacrima has renewed my energy. And while I will need your help, I feel the end will be under my own hands from my master's sword. But in the search, I will need help. And I feel akin to you, my small friend. I know you. You know me. I remember you from not so long ago, where you were singing for your life. And now, maybe together we can journey, and maybe there is a small favor that you will help me, ayuda me, to find what I need.
And no favor needed. I mean, you got the best detective agency at your side now, so no favor needed. There's no doubt in my mind that we're gonna do what we can to help. So, yeah. And I mean, I feel like us meeting back then, that was destiny. That was meant to be. So, I think this is supposed to be happening.
As soon as I heard your voice, I knew it from Exotic Flavors. It was from, you got me through some very difficult times when I was in the kitchen there, and your voice was out in the restaurant, and you pulled at my strings and brought me through, and I'm glad that my actions there were able to free you, and you are now with R&R, and I think you and I, my small friend, we will have a good journey together.
No doubt about it. Toads writes out can toads cry? That's a good question. If toads can, he's definitely trying not to. So
amazing.
See Toad just it's got Blanco's gotta think toads sometimes we get mucus and stuff, so it's gotta she awkwardly flies off.
I offer him my arm to wipe his nose off my fur.
Amazing. Finally, Olafur kind of opens the back doors to Lacrima and goes, "Right, guys, it's time." And he kind of takes a step out and steps out onto the dock. As the group of you and the townsfolk kind of make their way out the back door and kind of go to the dock, you all stand and you realize as you all look out over the edge of the island that there is no Zephyr here, and that you cannot see a Zephyr of which you should be boarding. But in that moment, Olafur turns to the group and says, "Can everyone take a little step back, please?" And he opens his coat. As he does, he reaches deep into one of the pockets and pulls out a bottle. The bottle, as he pulls it out, those of you that can see it, has some cloud kind of wisping in there, some smoke in there. And as he kind of shakes it in front of you for a second, he goes, "Watch this." He uncorks the bottle, points it off the dock, and slowly, coming out of the bottle, begins erupting a Sky Zephyr. A magnificent Sky Zephyr begins pouring out of the bottle as it slowly begins expanding, and you can hear the crunching of wood as it begins locking into place and expanding and growing, until finally a beautiful airship is there floating just off of the dock of Lacrima in front of you. As you look onto the ship, you can see a giant blimp at the top. It's shaped kind of like an arrowhead, the ship itself, with 3 large fans, omnidirectional fans at the back, basically. You can see on the side of the ship there's some directional catapults, and there's at the front of the ship a dragon's head that has been a dragon's-like skull that has been welded to the front of the ship. And coming out of the mouth of the dragon's skull is a long metal spear, basically. And that is what you guys see flying in front of you. He turns around and goes, "Ta-da." and puts the bottle back in your coat.
Is that a real dragon's head?
Well, it's a collectible item from many years ago. It was one that was I believe slain a couple hundred years ago or so.
Collectible. So would you collect, like, if I could use, like, my, maybe put my thing on something like that too? I mean, is that? Okay. That's cool.
I never intended to use your skull for anything. I'm not sure. It feels like it would be small, but I apologize if I've offended you with my ship here.
It's cool. I mean, that could just be my cousin, but it's cool. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine.
So, and he's like, I honestly, look, Mr. Toad, you're part of the team. I'm happy to take it down. I'm happy to take it off. It's not a problem. We can return it. Whatever we need to do to make this right. I apologize.
Strip it down. Use parts.
My whole thing, or just the head?
The dragon.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, jeez,
that's a bit excessive. Yeah, but it's also immortalizing your cousin. You gotta remember that. Like, with life there is death. You can't hide away from it.
Okay. True. That is a.
But
is that what you meant by it, though? Is that what you?
Yes. It was an honoring thing.
Insight.
Go for it.
I want to give code advantage by writing in my notebook to kind of make them uncomfortable.
Okay, can I get that advantage?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Yes. Okay, it's not that good. It's going to be I'm 11.
An 11. He, from what you can tell, it seems like, yeah, he has definitely attempted to make. You can tell he's attempted to make the thing that he cares a lot about better and more like cool, more like awesome, more out there, a little bit more like in his way, and he's immortalized this ship with the head in of itself. Do you know what I mean? So
okay,
yeah,
okay,
a little bit, yeah, for sure. Maybe not the purest intention, but definitely, like in a sense, yeah, for sure. And
okay.
He turns to the group. He's like, "This is the Gladius. Those of you who are coming with me, please do so." And as he's saying that, Rayward interrupts. He's like, 1 second, and he kind of shuffles forward with 6 kind of brown bags, basically. 7 brown bags, and he's like, "Here's your gold, everyone. Remember your reward for helping us." And he hands each person a little bag of gold pieces, basically, to each of you.
I can't believe I almost forgot. And R&I ruffles through his bag. Could you sign here, and here in triplicate, please?
Sign or yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And he begins writing, Rayward the Abider. Rayward the Abider. There, I think that's all of them, and he hands you your pen back.
Excellent. Thank you.
As the bags are passed out, Gio goes over to Rom and just sort of pulls him aside and says, "Would you trade my gold pouch for Evis's prayer wheel and R&R's pen?"
I love where this is coming from. It's really nice. But no. Just I wanna try the symbol out for myself. Give it a whirl. Don't tell anyone. Alright, and you can have the pen and one of your watches, for sure.
As you guys are saying this, R&R and Blanco, out of the corner of your eyes, based on your passive perception, you guys notice Olafur has kind of gone off to the side with his bag of gold and has actually given it back to Rayward, and you can see that he's basically handed the bag of gold back, and is quietly kind of chatting to him and is like, "Look, we promise as runners that we will support your people now. If you need water or anything, you let us know." And he basically says, "Look, you can contact us if you send a message to this location. and he basically says an address that you can't quite hear over all the kerfuffling, but he says an address.
I can read his lips.
You can read his lips. You can read it. So the address that he says is 14 Bournemouth Avenue.
Okay.
And he says 14 Bournemouth Avenue. You can't exactly hear it, Blanco, but R&R, you can take that. And he's like, if you ever need anything, get a message there, and we'll be with you as soon as we possibly can. And Eric's like, oh, I really appreciate it, Olafur. You know, you're such a kind gentleman, and you know the runners are always welcome here, and so on and so forth. And they kind of go back and forth a little bit while the debate about the wheel continues.
That was the perfect feat to take. Oh my lord.
Perfect moment.
Man. Toad's gonna quickly fly over to where the dragon's head is and put like a webbed hand on it. Close his eyes and say draconic. Keep playing, cousin. Keep playing.
Amazing.
And then I'll come back.
Amazing. You can have inspiration for that. I love that. It's awesome. As that all kind of go, Olafur's like, right, come on, we've wasted enough time, and he gets on, he steps off the dock onto the Gladius, and you can see that as his weight kind of hits it, it kind of moves a little bit in the air, but then kind of levels itself back out. And he kind of turns, he's like, right, come on, you lot, to the Republic. Let's go.
Geo moves over to R&R and says, I know you have another one, but here's your first one back, and hands the pen, or sort of extends his hand out with the pen in his hand to R&R and hands it back to him.
Thank you. This is most excellent. And he puts away his second pen, and you see that he has like 8 or 9 pens, and he just puts this one. It has the number 2 on it, and he puts it right next to his other pens that are numbered, and then he like closes his little satchel.
Incredible. So, as you guys kind of begin making your way onto the Gladius, you can see that the townsfolk are like, thank you, we appreciate you so much, safe travels, have a great time. Everyone's kind of just shouting, you know, like good luck wishes and well wishes at you guys as you board. And Olafur kind of makes his way into the wheelhouse and leaves the door open as he shouts, he goes, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much, and who knows when we will be back, but we hope soon. And he turns to everyone, he's like, right, everyone, hold on. And with that, he pushes the acceleration lever, and the ship begins to tilt forward ever so slightly as the Zephyr then takes off from Lacrima. As you guys begin traveling up from docking level up into the meridian layer, you guys begin catching a nice backdraft, and it begins taking you nice and quickly across the sky. As Olafur, you know, kind of is in the wheelhouse and is steering the ship a little bit, you guys get a chance to have a little bit of a look around and kind of check out the ship if you want to go under the deck or anything, or do anything like that, or have any sort of conversations. You're welcome to do so. Just a little description for you of the top deck. As you guys have kind of walked on, you can see that there's a harpoon at the front, over basically overhanging over the over that skull and the spear. Basically, there's like a harpoon that you can kind of pivot there. There's another same catapult kind of style on the opposite side of the ship, basically in the same position. And in the center is this wheelhouse, basically. The wheelhouse ascends upwards and is made out of wood, just the same as the deck. However, it's got like windows all the way around it, so that you have like a 360 view as a pilot. If you want to, you can look all the way around, basically. In there, though, you can see that there's like the pilot's controls, standard kind of pilot controls in a Sky Zephyr. And then behind is like a desk in there, and you can see from like the outside that there's like a globe on that desk, and there's like, you know, some pieces of paper kind of strewn about. Other than that, you can see that going basically just in front of the wheelhouse is a set of stairs that lead in down to the first deck. Furthermore, the balloon attached above you is attached with lots of like ropes and kind of ties and stuff. If anyone wishes to climb said ties, you are able to go on top of the balloon as well. That's something else that you are able to do. So, floor is yours. Olafur is just in the wheelhouse, and he's like, he's just kind of dealing with getting the Zephyr to the right level and making sure you guys are heading in the right direction before kind of caning it a little bit and setting it to go. Yes.
I would like to talk to Toad.
Amazing. Go for it.
Ooh. Yes.
Toad, and then I inform him about the discussion I had with Olafur last night about the sources of funding for the water runners. That being the Claw and the Don.
Would I have some connection with them because I have Thieves' Cant and being involved in some things, maybe would I have some?
So, Thieves' Cant, sadly, it's not much of a thing that the Mafia use. It's more of something that, as someone who has literally lived directly next to where the Nadian Guild operate out of, the Thieves Guild, you know that they're primarily the people using those kinds of symbols and those kinds of like that kind of secret like lingo. In terms of whether you would have any connection,
or just knowledge. I mean, probably not them. But yeah, it's any kind of knowledge. But I guess that makes sense.
The knowledge that you would have is, while you were working in Ulagatus, is you definitely would have seen the Don once or twice with his.
Ooh.
So he's an Arcanoloth with basically like a little wheelchair that he has like strapped to his lower half. And when he's like moving, he's like on his hands and he kind of pulls himself. And then when he stops, he would like pop himself up and like sit upright. So you've definitely seen the Don and this Arcanoloth about. As you probably would have done once or twice in the People's Republic, but much rarer in the People's Republic. They often don't leave the bathhouse, as far as you know amongst the people, as well as like that's what the people say, like, oh, the Don very rarely, you know, that kind of thing. You know, it's hard to see the Don outside the bathhouse. You got to go see him in the bathhouse, that kind of thing. You know. So that would be your knowledge of it and connection to it.
Right. That's good to know. But like, well. Okay, that's things are getting pretty deep now. I guess that's getting kind of, the Don, at least when I've heard, the Don's not someone, you really want to, I guess, like, mess with, you know what I mean? So we definitely got to keep our eyes out now, just kind of, wow.
As much as I'd like to assist the water runners in anything that they deem a worthy cause, I am trepid about getting into the pocket of the Don. Not a place I want to be.
Not a place I want to be either, but I mean, it looks like now we have some Calixtorich, Geo, and everyone in the group, like, it looks like we have some friends involved now, so we may, like it or not, we may have to get involved with this. So I mean, it's, like I said, I don't want to, but I mean, it's for friends. It was for you. Like, we definitely, we may have to, we may have to stop by the bathhouse ourselves sometime. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I understand.
And I mean, bless you. I mean, meet the Dawn. Like, not to step by the bathhouse, that particular bathhouse. So.
Yes. No, that is what I assumed you meant. Perhaps we could also get a sauna or something like that. But
ooh, actually, that would be great. My skin needs. Mm-hmm.
My pores are a little clogged, I think.
As you guys are saying this, Olafur slides the two front windows of the wheelhouse open and kind of leans his head forward a bit to speak to you all. And it's like, if you want to place your items and various things below deck, there's a couple of you'll see hammocks down there where you can choose your hammock. The only one that is definitely mine is the one at the very front of the ship at the very top. That's my hammock. All the rest are for you guys to use. And we can also make up, some sleeping arrangements on the floor with, I have a lot of blankets and things that we can use to make some sleeping arrangements for everyone. As we're going to be in air for probably, I imagine, a day or two. With this backwind, we should get there a little bit quicker, but it's likely to be, somewhere between, 2 to 3 days, I imagine, is how long it will take us to get to the Republic. So, with that being said, if you want to place your stuff down there, that's totally fine. I would love to just in a little bit. I've got to quickly just set the ship up, make sure that we're like in cruise control kind of thing, and then I've got a couple of things to just write down. And then from there, I would love to just have a chat with all of you up here on this deck. So if you want to just take a couple of minutes, I'm going to be doing my thing, and I'll catch back up with you guys in a little bit. Does that sound good with everyone? Amazing.
Play it.
Amazing. He goes, well, good luck, and shuts the windows, and you can see that he begins just levering things and like moving stuff, and then once he's done that, he kind of stops, looks at all, and he's like, all good, and then he turns around to the desk behind, and you can see that he's like writing things and like just doing little bits and bobs on the desk.
Do you guys want to go on top of the balloon? I mean, I know you guys can't fly, so I mean, it'd be kind of, if you guys want to go up there, it'd be pretty cool, I think. If you guys can experience just the air, just like the sky, you know? Do you guys ever want to go up?
Yeah, I'm so down. Can you fly though? Have you ever experienced the sky? I thought it was like a couple of inches off the ground.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Talk to me. Yeah, I was like, fly. I was like, as I'm flying here, I'm pretty far off the ground, okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's all right.
Yes, I can, okay? I fly a little bit higher, too, just like, you know, just to show.
Amazing. Didn't mean to hit a nerve there.
You know, Toad, this is a marvelous idea. I have these dreams since I was a whelp, since a puppy. I can remember flying, and it's amazing. My fur and the wind, and yes, this is a brilliant idea. Amazing. Me gusta mucho.
Speaking of dreams, I had when we all talked about our dream that time about us all having a dream and it felt so real and everything. I had another one that night that we all were celebrating at Lacrima the crop, and it was real like that again, and I felt like I was in the same sort of space as I was last time, but it wasn't riding an airship or anything. It was in a different place, but anyway,
I had a dream. Where were you? Sorry? Say that again?
Yeah, no, I was in a lecture hall, and I was a student in a lecture hall.
Do I recognize where we were?
Ooh.
Lecture hall?
Yeah.
Can you roll a history check?
Wait, you had that same nightmare too?
Yeah. Did we share dreams again? 3.
About true names?
5.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yo también.
Small cat.
Have like weird human skin.
Yeah. It was the same one. It was the same. I think it was the same guy, but it was a little bit different. It was maybe he was younger or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the one. Arn, did you have the same dream?
I did. Do you think what number am I thinking of right now?
11.
42.
It was 3. That was pretty impressive. So oh, wow. Okay, I didn't think that would work. Maybe we are telepathically linked. What word am I thinking of right now?
Sausages.
No.
Toad.
3.
I don't want to. You
It
know,
was
we have
code.
This is weird.
Fuck's sake.
I'm not sure what's going on, but I guess it kind of means we're linked in some way. And
What's linking us? Is it... Mr. Wizardman, Olafur, is he even here? He's doing
He's in the wheelhouse. He can't hear you right now. If you want to go talk to him, you're welcome to go in the wheelhouse and have a chat with him. You're welcome to go too.
Do you guys feel comfortable asking Olafur about it? He's more magically adept than any of us.
Well, I think so. Maybe it's magic. Maybe Alia might be looking at Evis. Like maybe some other things are involved too. I feel like it's something pretty big.
There's this thing.
This is like
7 degrees of separation. We might not inherently know each other, but like I know Toad from something, you and then Arnon knows Toad, and now there's this thing where Angio has. There is this possibility that we have this between us all.
For what purpose? It's a bit weird sharing
It doesn't tell me the purpose.
someone else's dreams.
Well, maybe we are to find out. I understand we can inquire.
Are you guys first person in this dream? You like in someone else's body? I'm flesh.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, it's like a weird human skin. It's
Yeah.
really, really weird, like disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not myself at all.
I am naked in it, and my fur
Shaved?
gone. It is very strange.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. Like that's you can't absorb anything. It's just I don't know. That's not for me.
Don't like feeling so small.
So, as you guys are kind of stood on the top deck, you see Olafur basically is kind of in there, and he's like writing some things down, and then he kind of stops for a minute. And you guys can see him like kind of stop and like ponder for a second, and then he like writes something down kind of fiercely, like taps the pen, and then like puts the pen down, and kind of begins looking back and forth for a little bit.
You guys down? We're going up top. I mean, maybe we can talk about these streamers a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we maybe won't be overheard. Just in case.
How do we get up there? We just gotta climb that rope and around the balloon.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, can you?
Okay, I have a wild hair, Bodhi.
Go on.
Could I? Okay, if people are gonna have issues getting up there, I do have access to levitate, and I can levitate a target that weighs up to 500 pounds.
There you go. Done. Yeah. I don't see why
If
not.
I can concentrate up to 10 minutes and get folks up there. So
There you go. Done. Sorted.
Awesome.
I think that makes sense to me.
yeah, Evis is just gonna be like, getting you up there is not an issue. Luckily, this is my realm. And so they do the, you had to do it to impose, and you kind of see like the wind start picking up and like their hair start flying around, and if there's a need to try this on the deck, just flying around, but then maybe underneath all of y'all, just
Amazing. The wind carries you all and gently places you down on top of the balloon. Toad, I assume you kind of fly up, and Evis, I assume you would then climb up or levitate.
I just yeet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just yeet.
Cool. And you guys end up on top of the balloon. And as you do, you guys can feel the wind rushing past you at quite a heavy pace at this point. Toad, when you're flapping up here, you've got to like flap a decent amount to like stay in place, but without that wind kind of pushing you back a little bit. And as you guys kind of look out, you can see that around you is pretty much just open sky. It's open air, and you can see the odd cloud, kind of at your level, one maybe above you, a couple below you here and there, and then the thick storm cloud layer deep below you at this point. And as you look around, you can see, the odd bird maybe appear from a cloud and kind of fly through and then disappear into another cloud. And at this point, you haven't seen any other islands as you're traveling, but it is beautiful up here. It's magnificent. The sun is just blasting. There's no rain or dark cloud or anything. It's just magnificent up here, like a beautiful sunny beach day up here.
How far away was the bird? Was it like super far, like earshot?
Yeah, it's super far away. Yeah. It's like off. It's like a small thing off in the distance. It keeps up with you for a second and then like barrels off to the left and disappears. That kind of.
How many foot?
The bird or the away from you?
The bird, yeah.
Oh, it's probably like between I imagine 150 and 300 feet away from you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty far away, and with the wind speed at this height, it's pretty hard to hear.
I may or may not be able to speak with the animals, but we're good.
Yeah, go for it. Cool. yeah, you guys find yourself on top of the balloon, and there's ropes and stuff that you guys can grip onto and hold onto as you guys are up here. But yeah, you guys are up here, and the balloon itself doesn't have much give. Like it's not like a balloon that you could squeeze kind of thing. So as you guys kind of sit on it, you feel that there's some sort of like frame in there that is keeping the like expanded kind of balloon there. And so when you do sit down, it's firm underneath you as opposed to like squidgy, basically.
I am
This
going
is
to
not
hold
beautiful.
on to these ropes. This is not normal for me, and while I am finding this very exhilarating, it is also a little bit scary too. How is everybody else finding it? Surely I'm not the only one.
If you need someone to ground you, Blanco, Evis extends their hand. You can hold my hand if that makes you feel better.
Thank you so much, as Blanco places his paw in Evis's hand. That is very kind. But with my other hand, I shall still hold on to the rope.
Understandable. If you need an anchor.
I will. Oh, speaking of an anchor, I will not detach. I'll use like my grapple hand to like hook onto like the floor, but then so I can still walk around. So if I do slip, I'm not going over.
Nice, good job, love it, cool. And you guys are alone up on the blimp.
So, Arnar, I'm not sure if you still want me to be part of the team after my performance in that card game or whatever, but if you did, what does it mean to be an investigator, and what do you guys do and stuff?
Well, for one, I think that would be a little awkward considering I have written your name on every single business card at this point, so I can't erase this pen, so I would have to get new business cards, and that is really a hassle. I am not one to get emotional, but the printer's office makes me quite irritable. Regardless, being an investigator requires an amount of insight, dedication, but also wile and deception in order to find every single clue and every single facet of some riddle that has presented itself.
That sounds.
Do not be afraid to push into the morally gray in order to achieve the ends of a case.
Yeah.
As Arthur saying this, I'm like acting out like Toad's acting out like all of the words, when he's saying it. So it's like I think it's like a magnifying glass. So he's just acting out like everything. So.
You guys are a great team, and I hope that I can really add something besides my whistling in the band. But I have some history that I can draw on, and I'm pretty good at observing things. And when I want to put my mind to it, I'm very determined, and I'll see things through as well. So you have that to count on.
Excellent. I think you can bridge the ground between Toad and I, as typically I am one who analyzes the environment, and Toad is the one who deals with the clients. I think you could be a very good middle bridge between the two of us.
Yeah, and Toad has traveled on my shell. He's been comfortable, haven't you, Toad? You've been real comfortable traveling on my shell, and I still have your sword, and I can also carry things, or if we've got any additional gear or anything like that. So I can be part of the support and also contribute to anything that needs to be done when we're investigating as well.
You see, as Gio says this, he has, like, almost the whole time that you guys have been with Gio, he has not taken off his backpack that is, around his kind of shell. And you can see, that as he kind of says this, he kind of, like, shakes his little backpack to show you guys, and there's, like, two little, water, what would I call them? Vials kind of thing, like canisters, vials kind of thing, that kind of clock together on the side and stuff as you kind of...
Oh, canteens.
Yeah, canteens, exactly, yeah, perfect, exactly.
Excellent, then you can carry our evidence if need be. That's perfect.
Yep, that's perfect. Happy to do that.
Additionally, if the other three of you would like to earn some money or whatnot, we can independently contract you as needed. You will need to obviously fill out various forms and what have you, but we can certainly get you within the loop.
You know, I was wanting to talk with you because I really think while your instruments, they are special. It is, to say the harmonica and the bagpipe thing you are hoping, and trying the tambourine, unbelievable. I think you need a voice to your group, and I think a lead singer with my range. I think. Well, I don't know if you agree, but I don't know.
Oh,
I
it's a
felt
range.
it last night.
It's a
I
range.
felt it last night.
It's a range.
It came from the core, and it was. You know, I have great. I feel potential.
I see. Yes, you do put the range in Ranger. I do not know.
How did I not see that? Oh,
I know nothing about music. Toad would definitely be the one to talk about for the green jalapenos, but
Yes.
I am not the one who is the coordinator.
I have suitably impressed him from last night. I cantar. They sing so. It's like a lullaby.
Yes. As long...
Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. You're good.
It's a very loud lullaby. Yes.
I did.
Sung by a screaming baby to its mum. The other way around.
If you think about music, it's also about these different parts that contribute. So Toad has Toad's part, and Arnar, you have the tambourine, and I have my whistling, and I think Blanco's onto something. It's just another part of a huge, beautiful, multi-level bit of music, and it seems all complementary to me. I think, I'm not sure if I'm over-speaking myself, but maybe we give Blanco a chance.
Oh, of course.
Really?
Yes. I mean, the way when you sang, it wasn't like, it wasn't perfect, but music's not meant to be perfect. You were coming from a place from within, like from your heart, and that's what matters in music. Not about how good it sounds or how anything else like that. I mean, it's all just about feeling. And if you're giving that feeling, if you're giving that heart into it, that's it.
You know where it came from. It came from within, and I have not howled for several years, and it was a great release. And it seemed like the townspeople, from Lacrima, they quite enjoyed it. We kept the crowd going for a long time.
I'm not sure. Was that 2 or 3 encores they gave us, guys? It was really good when we were in the flow. It was pretty. I thought it was amazing.
Me too, and they're never gonna forget. Never.
Amazing. As this is kind of happening, you guys hear the ropes begin to kind of get pulled taut on the balloon for a quick second, as you hear someone kind of climbing up, and Olafur kind of pops his head up the side of the balloon as he then kind of climbs up. He's like, "Oh, you guys are up here. Oh, amazing. Do you know what? This is hilarious. You guys.
Who is driving the ship, Olafur?
Who
is driving the ship?
It's on cruise control. It's okay. We're just going.
Oh.
Okay, it's okay.
Wait, you can't put a balloon on cruise control. Hold on. That's not how air works. That's not how the wind works.
Oh, okay. So clearly, let me explain. With the propulsion of the directional fans, it allows us to tilt at a bit of an angle and kind of move that way. So that's how we're kind of going forward. But also, I left Sato down there, and he's been flying the ship for years now. And is
he sober?
Is he sober? I don't think so, but he's always better. He's always better when he's not sober.
That's what everyone says.
I promise you. But I know everyone says that, but I mean it this time. Legitimately, he's actually better with a bit of alcohol in his system. It gives it like a
Olafur.
yes.
Cool.
Oh
I'm
no,
happy I
just
can fly.
an admonishment.
No problem. Do you know what's hilarious? I had planned to bring you guys up here when I had finished my writing anyway to show you guys this beautiful view. It's one of my favorites to come up here and relax, and sometimes I do a little bit of writing and things like that. And he pulls from behind his back a bottle that he has, and he has a couple of glasses, like little shot glasses. He's like, I thought it might be nice to toast to, like our new adventure together. And I have some Incendian Dragonfire whiskey that is very hard to get these days. Yes?
Are you gonna fly later? I mean, so okay, well, I mean, it's going with Evis was saying. I mean, maybe, okay. I mean, as long as you can take that and fly, just okay.
One.
I mean,
it's just one. And he starts handing out the shot glasses and pouring it. Evis, when he gets to you, he stops, puts the bottle to one side, reaches in and pulls out another bottle of tea, basically, and begins pouring into your cup. Stops and then puts it away. Kind of gives you a little nudge, and then continues pouring the other shots. Yes.
Do you
Thank
have any
you.
cranberry juice? I do not partake in alcohol.
Oh,
I also.
I have tea. I brewed some tea because I noticed Evis was drinking. I didn't notice your cranberry. I'm sorry. If I'd known, I would have maybe tried.
it's okay. Wait a second. Do you have extra tea? I may have.
I
some
share
in
my
here.
tea. I share my tea with R&R.
I have
And then
a little bit extra. That's not a problem. Here are.
perfect. And then let's see if I can do it.
Is there anything less consumable?
I'm
Anything less consumable?
gonna flavor it with precipitation.
Nice.
It's gonna taste like it's gonna taste like cranberry juice now.
Like nice, amazing. So your tea ends up tasting like that kind of cranberry berry tea that you can buy. Anything less consumable?
Yeah.
What type of thing are you looking for
I
exactly?
don't have a mouth. Just I'll just toast. Give me an empty glass and I'll toast.
No problem. And he hands you the shot, and he kind of turns to you all quickly in this moment, and he raises his glass, and he's like, well, to the new water runners, to an amazing group of people who will help us change this world for the better. To you guys. And he takes a shot. Those of you who amazing. Those of you who drink up, those of you that have whiskey, it is fiery, it is hot, it burns on the way down. Oh, it is dragon fire for sure. For sure.
I smashed the glass into my face.
Cheers.
Real dragon fire is hotter. You want to see dragon fire? And I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my draconic puff. So I can use my action to breathe a puff of embers towards our enemies. Maybe this is dangerous where we are, but you know what? I had some whiskey. I'm doing it. So, a 15-foot cone and just like embers out into the air.
Amazing. I'm gonna say, as you've just drank poured the dragonfire whiskey over yourself, you blow out the puff, and a bit of it kind of ignites a little bit, and it carries the flame a little bit more. The embers ignite into a burst of flames that disappears off the side of the blimp, and then kind of trails behind you as the balloon, as you move forward, it goes and kind of behind you guys, as it then dissipates into black smoke and slowly dissipates. And Anna was like, whoa, holy shit, I didn't know you could do that, Toad. Incredible, absolutely incredible.
It really is related to a dragon.
There you go. I definitely was in the mind of believing him, but now it's for sure. Yeah, for sure. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I never doubted Toad for a second. Why should Toad lie about his origins?
I didn't mean like that. Like,
it's a good question. I would hope he would not. Would be my hope.
Gio raises his glass and
Yes.
makes eye contact with Olafur and says, yes, to the new water runners, but also to those of the past.
Indeed. To Ace.
And just takes a sip because he's monitoring his consumption from what happened last night.
Olafur kind of takes a second, and he kind of stops, and he's like, now, I wanted to ask you guys a question, and kind of get a bit of understanding. You mentioned the other day when we were in the pub that you guys had a dream that you had all shared. Now, this is not something that's super normal, and just as that so happened to coincide with this arcane blast that I felt, and it was very odd. The fact that all of this is coinciding at the same time.
We had a second one.
What? Wait, what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Geo?
What's that, Geo?
There's a second
Yeah.
wind, I think, that's coming past us. The second wind.
Can you make a deception check, please?
Can I give him? Can I help him with that? Be like, oh yeah, it's a second wind. You know, it's a common term.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
from drinking.
It is
yeah,
this is our
second
second wind.
You can have
Yes.
advantage.
It's the multiclass.
17.
17. With a 17, he's like, oh, yeah, I guess it picked up a little bit there, the wind, I suppose. Yes, well, these dreams and whatnot, that's not commonplace. That doesn't happen, I have studied myself at the Arcane Institute, and I can tell you that's not something that happens to people. It's very odd, and look, I'm not sure what's happening. All I know is the last time an arcane blast went out like this, it was not a good time for the people of Sky, and it did not do us any good. So, though I mentioned earlier that, I intend to retire, there's it's seeming like with, this information about the dream and whatnot, that who knows whether I will get to retire as soon as I hope.
How old are you, Olafur?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
if you're retiring, you just seem pretty sprightly. Or...
I mean, look, I'm young at heart, I've still got a young thumper in my chest, that's keeping me ticking along. And no heart transplant at this point either, it's all natural. So, the answer to your question is don't tell people this because I use a special cream that helps keeps the wrinkles away, but I'm actually 58 years old. And my 59th birthday is actually just around the corner in the next couple of months, which I'm really looking forward to. I plan to have a nice celebration with some good people. Hopefully, you guys will still be around and will be interested to come and join. I would love to have you guys be a part of any celebration for my birthday. It would be a pleasure.
Oh, thank you for the invite. That sounds.
Yeah, of course. You guys are
We
good
could provide
friends.
the music.
The entertainment, yeah.
That's a great idea. I love that.
What do you think? Tell me, Toad. R&R. What do you think? Gio.
We're pretty good at just jamming. We don't really even need to rehearse. We just point us where we need to be, show us the mics and the stage, and you can check back in about an hour and a half after a couple encores, and that'll be us with our performance. That's kind of how we do it, isn't it, guys?
Well, damn right. Last night, you guys, we really took the roof off that place, as it were. But the roof is still there. But we took that roof off that place. It was amazing. At one point, I swear to God, the chandelier was swinging from side to side. I swear the building was shaking from the amount of jumping and hype people were having. It was amazing to watch.
Toad's right up what Gio just said. Toad just like he doesn't have to say anything, nods in agreement. Just yeah.
Knowing that Olafur's gone to the asylum, the Arcanum Institute, would I possibly now recognize him? Or is he studying like a different area?
He actually was there before you were there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have met him in the time that you were there.
Olafur, this institute, can you describe what it's like? Is it lecture halls or is it rooms or what is it?
Oh, you haven't been to the Arcane Institute. It's a glorious building, a campus that is phenomenal. It spans, a good few acres, covers most of the island. You have gorgeous courtyards with fountains and all this amazing stuff. It's absolutely amazing there. But but at this point, to be honest with you, it's very imperialistic. The amount of influence that they currently have there is preposterous. With the siphoning teacher, creating new guards frequently and all this kind of stuff happening, it's really a problem. So. To answer your question, you asked about the halls. Yes, there are lecture halls. There's many. There's almost every professor has his own specific lecture hall, but then there's also the Great Lecture Hall, the Other Lecture Hall, as it's known. It's literally known as the Other Lecture Hall. There's a couple of other ones dotted around. There's the John Peel Lecture Hall as well. That's a very, very common one that people go to. But yes, there's lots of lecture halls. Yes.
Has uniform changed at all since?
For students or for staff or for guards?
All three.
Students, no. Staff can still wear what they want. However, the amount of guards has increased significantly.
No blue robes?
No.
No?
In what sense?
Are there any teachers that wear blue robes and possibly have a little cat?
Teachers that have blue robes? I mean, jeez, that's stretching my mind. The answer is I don't remember any blue robes. There was a guy with a cat.
Do you know anyone named Garmer, professor of name teaching?
Oh, I mean, me personally, yes, I've read one of his journals.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a gentleman who I believe. Look, all I know is his work is debated upon highly. There's a lot of conspiracy about Garmer's work. Some people believe that it's real. Other people think he's a I don't know how to put this kindly, but that his marvels aren't all in the order that they should be, and that he's not of sound mind at this point in time. Yes.
Did he ever have like a prodigy or like someone who took under his wing?
Not that I know of. No, not that I know of. In his book that I read, in his journals that I've read, that were published, there was never any mention of any sort of apprentice or assistant or anything like that.
No featured like scholars in the back of the book, like they collaborated with him at all or anything like that.
No featured scholars. I know the copy that I was given, the copy that was given to me, was given to. All I can say is I don't know what this means, but there's a signature at the bottom, and it says it's from Garmer, and it says, to the crew, thank you for enjoying my lessons. Basically, I've never known who the crew are, but that's just my copy. It's secondhand. I picked it up secondhand. I don't know who the crew are.
So he owned that book. So he had a crew, or was he just really like friendly with his students? Like one of those guys. Weird. Okay.
Yes, it's one of those. His work is widely speculated about. He talks about his main thing is true names. He talks about speaking to the soul of a creature or a person, and using that to in some ways aid or abet, that creature, that person. Yes, his work is meant to be experimental, but many people don't believe it works, so that, he's even real. Some people don't think he's even a real person, and that it's been written under a pseudonym from someone, trying to have a laugh or something. But I found the journals quite interesting as someone who reads that kind of stuff often. I like conspiracy books, if I'm 100% honest. Yes.
How is he still alive? If he's not, how long ago was he alive?
Who? Garmer?
Yeah.
Garmer. Is he currently living? Is he?
I actually don't know. I actually don't know if he is currently living, because, I mean, I don't think anyone knows. Like, I haven't seen them ever. I've never met the person. I've only, like I said, read the book and heard the rumors. Do I know whether they're alive? No, I actually don't know. I'm sorry. We could probably try and find out. There's probably ways to find out some information. We could go to the registry office in the People's Republic, maybe. There's definitely some options that we have there for that, So, sorry, I can't be more help about about his current life-death situation. Don't know.
You don't know when he was a member of staff?
Oh, he was never a member of staff. Never. He never was a member of staff at the Arcane Institute. That was never a thing. I did hear once. Now, again, speculation because it was a few years after I left. I heard that he did do a guest lecture there at least once, but I'm not sure whether that's even true. I wasn't there, but I've heard people say that they saw him in flesh and things like that. All the conspiracy stuff. You know how people who follow conspiracies are.
I see.
Often they say people who follow religion follow conspiracies, and I cannot. This awfully smacks of the slander that Ollie is often given. People saying she's not real, people saying that she is, or even worse, is an evil figure now. I mean, perhaps this type of messaging is the same type of hatred people that don't understand, have gotten through the years.
That's an interesting point, Toad. Yeah, that's and you're not wrong. Often those who are non-believers do call those who follow the gods, lunatics. Whatever they name many names for those who follow any of the three main religions. Or anyone who follows any other type of belief system. But I'll tell you what. I mean, when there's evidence of the gods all around, I don't know how you don't believe. Like, to me, like it feels like we've got shit all around us. And if you're struggling to believe that's I don't know, that's just me. But I'm in. I've been big Ujian for a very long time, supporting Deus. I've been with the Old Father for a very long time. So I fully stand by that. Guys, this when we get to the People's Republic, there's a couple things that I wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about, because you're gonna need to kind of expect some things. Toad and R&R, you probably know this, as you guys are residents. For those of you who aren't residents, we'll need to get you guys some visas so that you can stay in the People's Republic for extended periods of time. Things like that is the new Imperials have put in a visa system in the last couple of years or so to inhibit travel here and stuff, which is not super great. But we'll get you set up with some visas. We'll get you guys set up. I have an amazing house that we can get you guys set up in, and make it your little base of operations where we kind of work out of. It's where most of the water runners in the city kind of work out of. So it seems like an appropriate place for you guys to at least start your journey here in the People's Republic there, within the house, before maybe needing to go and get your own place. I don't know. You guys might want your own place, but the offer is there. I have beds. I have room. Welcome to stay.
Gracias.
No, it's not a problem, Blanco. It's good to. Your fur is looking exceedingly feathered and lethal in this wind right now. I must just say, as we're up here on the balloon, it's rushing towards me, and you look just magnificent, just radiant, king of the jungle type stuff,
Well, jungle mean, but I'm very proud of my fur. Very, very proud. Thank you. It's quite spectacular. I love it. It is me. It gives me who I am.
At this point, Olafur is going to kind of continue kind of chatting to you guys and kind of trying to get to know you guys a little bit. Is there anything that you guys kind of want to do during this day? Is there anything that anyone has kind of planned? This is a bit of downtime, so if you guys want to practice anything, craft stuff, work on anything like that, you're welcome to spend any of this time doing that. But Olafur is going to continue basically just asking questions of you guys and trying to get to know you guys a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah, I've got nothing I really want to do. Got nothing to practice. What about you guys?
Cool. Anyone else got anything?
I just go up to Evis and just say, "Hey, Evis, how are you doing?"
Yes. I'm strangely at peace. The past couple days have been interesting, but it's being up here in the clouds and the air again, it always makes me feel like I'm returning home. How are you feeling?
I'm doing okay. I'm going to get you your prayer wheel back, or something that's, I don't know. Don't worry though. I'll work on it. And I'm sorry about that. I don't know what was going on.
Gio, you have nothing to be sorry for. Like I said, I don't need... I mean, it's a very kind and generous gesture that you're making here, but my connection to Alia doesn't exist through physical means. She's part of us. Here. And she oh my god. They're like in my brain, they're every pronoun. So, but, just use they for simplicity. They like touch like the center of Gio's like shell chest area. Alia's in here. It doesn't matter what people on the outside say, what they've turned her into. What matters is how we respond to the call.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of history about Alia and how Alia and Ventus, that whole battle and how Deus separated them, and who knows what's real and what isn't. They say that Alia was... Well, you know what they say about Alia, and, well...
Yeah.
All I can say is that as long as we respect each other, then until we know the real truth, until we actually see Alia, or we see Deus, or see Ventus, and actually can ask them themselves, then who knows what really happened when the Great Split happened and everything got separated.
Alia we ask for is respect. See, that was a joke there. I made it funny.
Cool. Does anyone else have anything that they want to do during this downtime before I jump in with something?
Maybe just inquire with Olafur to see if he could possibly, if he knows how I would go about trying to find Reshi's voice.
Well, I'll be 100% honest with you. I've not met many elementals in my time, and this is quite an amazing experience in terms of Reshi is magnificent. And my answer to your question of finding voices, well, I mean, as it is to quote actually something in relation to what we were talking about earlier, to quote Gama himself, words have a lot of power. To find a voice is something that will take some time. Do you know what? I think your best solution would be when we get to the People's Republic. There is a university that you can go visit in the city. It might be a good place to start asking, look, I studied at my time in the Arcane Institute. I've always been proficient with, war magic and tactics and strategery kind of thing. I was never one for, divination and, healing stuff and, growing things. I've always been a bit more of a destructive force, and so I put my kind of time in university more into, kind of learning about strategy and how we could, succeed and things like that.
Speaking of people who are like that, but you are like war magic, and more like healing and growing, I don't suppose you know of someone called Garzin. And I say it really quiet, like it's a whisper. No, I push my face up to his ear and say the name really quietly.
Cool. Anyone who wants to make perception checks to hear it, go for it. Give it. You can give it a shot, but we'll say because he's doing it so personally, we can make it with disadvantage if you do want to make perception checks.
I mean, does passive 17 mean anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I was about to say, except for Arnar, who probably could just read the lips.
I don't have lips.
Dang. He doesn't have lips.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. You can read Olafur's lips.
Yeah.
He's kind of takes a second.
It's a 19 for me, but with disadvantage.
Wait, what's the check?
Perception. If you want to hear it. Toad, you would definitely overhear a little bit of it for sure.
Uno?
What was that, Amber?
So what was that name?
You don't know.
I have a plus. I have a +1 to perception, so I got a 21.
Ooh, incredible.
I rolled at 22 and then an 18 for the disadvantage.
Oh.
Can I just say as well, I just rolled a nat 20 to see if Olafur remembers who this person is, so that's a bunch of nat 20s in all of like a couple of seconds. That's crazy. So the answer to the question
That's
is...
everyone's luck for the week.
Yeah,
really.
Good luck.
Gone.
Yeah, everyone else, you're going to be rolling shit for the rest. Yeah, good luck in all your other games. Toad, you can hear it. R&R, you can hear it. Evis, you can hear a bit of this as well. And you guys can basically hear Rom say the name Gaza. And Olafur kind of takes a second and he thinks and he goes, I mean, I've again heard of the name, not a person I've ever met, but I mean, the only Gazan that I know again is not conspiracy but like folklore. I'm not sure if you know about Soltus, the forest island in the south.
No, not at all.
Yes. So one second, and he pulls out like a map from his bag, and quickly I'm just gonna show you guys the world map screen if you want to see it. He's like, right here in the south, you can see that there's this like forest island basically, and it's rumored that there's a wild man who lives there. I believe the rumors were his name was Gaza, but that's all I know.
Soltus, thank you. Wild man. That sounds like Gaza. I mean,
That sounds like Gaza.
Actually, no one had anyway. They're all doing their own thing. Fools. Thank you. Anything else? Just that does he leave, or has he just like stayed on the island?
I don't know. Like I said, all I know is that apparently there's a wild man, and I've heard the name Gazan kind of around that wild man on Soltus. That's all I kind of really know about it, honestly. Again, might be one to... Oh, actually, don't go to the university for that one. If you want to look that up, the library might be a good place for that. They have a lot of records and history stuff in there that might be a good one. The Imperial Library in Uptown, when we get to the People's Republic, is a ginormous library. It is absolutely freaking massive, and definitely would be a good one for you to check out for sure.
Thank you.
No problem. It's the least I can do for you guys. Yes. Well, and with that, you guys, kind of continue conversation as the day goes on. A couple of you climb down and pot around, get some some food and grub lower deck. There's like a small amount of supplies under deck where there's like a bit of food and stuff that Olafur's kept for this journey that he's taken upon. So he's got some food and bits down there, and you guys have like a bit of food, have a bit of a lunch, and this first day on the Sky Zephyr is, it's exciting, it's fun, it's definitely a little bit more carefree than the last couple days have been. And I wanted to quickly just go around and kind of just ask each of you, what's kind of going through your head during this first day? How are you feeling, and what's your character's kind of place in this moment, and how are they kind of feeling? So we'll just go around and if everyone's happy to just give a little bit of insight into what your character's feeling. Sergio, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm back down on the main deck and have been wanting to get a moment of time with Olafur, but Olafur has been sort of in the group or up in the sort of the captain's space as well. But I'm curious about what Olafur knows or doesn't know about my Uncle Ace. I've heard a lot about the People's Republic my entire life, and I've studied the Water Runners as part of my my history studies outside of the class. It's been almost like a hobby of mine, so I know the Water Runners inside and out, and I've sort of been keeping quiet to see how much is lining up. And the one bit that lined up is that Uncle Ace, yes, was a water runner, so the legend is true. and according to Olafur was quite a water runner in his time, and also went missing, which also lines up with everything I know. I'm heading to the place that I want to be heading. I'm one step closer to where the answer could lie, and I'm also thinking of home, though. And there's been some ups, mostly a lot of ups, but some steps backwards. I fell during the combat and got a little bit outside of my own, my own limitations on that celebration night. I'm trying to work through all of that and understand that it's sort of a journey for me, and I'm still learning. But I'm heading the place I want to go. I'm not completely excited, but I know that I'm where I need to be, and I've connected with, especially with a few people in this group, and I'm very happy about that. So looking forward to the next thing that we do, especially having to do with water runners.
Amazing. Blanco, what's going through Blanco's head as you guys soar through the sky on the first day?
Yeah. So Blanco has been consumed with grief for several years, and he's realizing that he can actually channel the grief to narrow it down from being all-consuming to being this avenue that's smaller. And he's now, things are coming into focus that are beginning to give him pleasure and to make him happy, because he hasn't had that for a long time. And he's realized it's you have to have everything in your life to be well-rounded. And his mission has been all-consuming, and he felt that if he did anything else, he would not be honoring his master. And he's realized he's done this side mission with these people and been loyal and helped other people, that there are other things you can do. You don't have to be all-consuming, that you can move forward, and you can move forward with other people, yet channel your grief down to a narrow part. It's almost like having more of, like, the grief becomes tunnel vision and you can't see anything around it. And this now has given me eyes to other things. And I'm sort of feeling uplifted with the prospect of being a group with Arnar and Toad and Geo. I found that Evis has taught me to be calm, and taking my pour earlier had given me this sense of real grounding and just thankful that they have shown me this. And Rom, I feel like there are things that Rom has yet to teach me, but I feel that at times there are things where he says things to be gruff and harsh, but there's something inside that it's not how he wants to be. And I look forward to learning more from Ron, because there is definitely something deep down that I feel is necessary to gain from Ron.
Amazing. And next up, Toad. Blake, go for it.
Ooh, so Toad right now, he's living honestly like the good life for as much as a Wormtone can. He loved getting to play the show with everybody, and just like he was already happy enough just to have Arnar as like a best friend, and so now he's like just expand that kind of group to even further. Like it's definitely filling his heart even more. And yeah, really the being on top of the sky ship, kind of being in the air, just brought his mood up even higher. Kind of made him, and seeing the dragon skull, kind of make him think back to, like, maybe who he might be related to and stuff like that. So he just hopes he can bring like the strength of the dragon to anytime he does anything, so he's playing music or helping his friends. So just he's in a good space, and he really wants to just get this whole Green Jalapenos band started, as well as just help everyone, like helping Geo find who he's looking for, helping Blanco get that definitely get the bench that they want. So yeah, he's doing good. He's in a good place.
Perfect. So I just like above board. I totally misunderstood. I thought you meant there was another band called the Green Jalapenos. You guys are starting the Green Jalapenos?
Oh.
That's even better.
Yeah, they're starting the Green Jalapenos.
That is now
Well,
that is incredible. That is amazing. Okay, cool. I'm now fully I
Well,
missed something there.
No, you're right. No, you're right. And then they were like, we're starting the band. So I was like, okay, you know what, flip it. So I was like, okay, we'll go with it. So, because I initially had like the other DM, but then they said, that's our band. I'm like, you know what, okay.
Cool,
So,
amazing. Cool, that's good to know. Green Jalapenos. Wow, I've always in my D&D career, dreamt that we're gonna have, amazing group name, Vox Machina, and then the Green Jalapenos. Yes, nailed it, guys.
My God, yes.
First try, absolutely crushed it. Sorry to just bring that, but amazing.
We're on tour this year.
Toad, that's absolutely amazing, and
now.
it's one of those ones, it's nice to hear, Toad is feeling in a good place, that's awesome to hear. Evis.
Also, Anthony Kiedis. Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, Anthony Kiedis, if you're listening, don't sue us, because obviously this is not your actual band. Flea, don't add us.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Actually, Flea, if you'd like to add us and be on the show, I mean, you
Yeah.
were in the Big Lebowski, so homie the dude. That's
And
already some stuff going
in
on.
the Wild Thornberries, he's a voice actor.
oh, yes.
actually.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Man, bring that character back. Come on.
Wait, Flea, actually play John. Okay, anyway, sorry. Yeah, Evis is standing, still one hand with Blanco's paw, the other anchoring themselves on the edge of this balloon and overlooking the open expanse of the sky. It seems like there's no end in sight to the vast reaches of the blue and the white spotted along the way. And it's so open that it makes Evis think about the moments of peace that they had before the big blowout at the monastery.
Yeah.
It was playful, joyous, just as bright and cheery as the sky appears, but I'm sure there's also in the horizon, a tinge of gray starting to roil up from below. And it makes them think about the fight, about the schism between the believers in Alia, what really is the truth, and how that interferes with interpersonal relationships and that pursuit of truth, that pursuit of knowing for sure what is and what isn't.
Yeah.
And is going through that storm worth it?
Beautiful.
And they tighten their grip on Blanco's paw just a little bit. Not even indicate, not even saying anything, but just having a moment, but I'm here.
Amazing.
And I think that's where Evis is.
Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Ron, go for it.
The last year, so before where did we just come from? Lacrima. The last year of his life before he was hibernating was really shit, and so it's been something like 42 years since he's actually enjoyed and had a place to be, and had someone to be a community or somewhere he kind of fits a little bit, and that's exactly what this group has kind of done, is accept him a little bit, even though he with a pinch of salt he was rude and such, and that's a really warming thing, and he's Rom's been held down by his burdens, things he's promised to do, to help Reshi to change himself, but he did the exact same for Shelley, and for Toad, and for Blanco, and it's not a burden, it's something that's warm, it's a fire inside, and it's keeping him happy. It's not they're not burdens anymore, it's a really nice thing. It's a path. It's a solid actual destination. And then he's also buzzing from he may be able to find Gazan, like the other half of his community before. So that's fire has been kindled within him, and he's excited to move on.
Feeling all of this with shards of glass in the wooden frame of his face, I assume.
Yeah.
Dragon's fire.
And Arnar, in no way least, but indeed last. Go for it.
Arnar is by nature a very paranoid person. And I think this situation of returning home and directly kind of going against the government as much as he hates it, it does make him worry, because he knows the true extent and the true reach of the true power of the Imperium. So he's a little worried about that. He's a little concerned. So he's thinking about contacts he might have within that, people he can talk to get information and whatnot. He's thinking about how much he's gonna have to teach Sergio in terms of discretion. But very deep down, very secretly, he's very happy that he's a part of something that is finally bigger than himself, because he's never experienced that before Toad. It's been very much a lonesome life for him, so this is very much something that is new. Obviously not for him and Toad. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, they've been roommates for a point in time where, like, they probably just have a bunch of inside jokes. But I mean, for everyone else, this is like a whole new thing, you know? So it's exciting.
Amazing. As you all kind of experience your individual, you know, moments and feelings, you know, across this first day, you know, you begin to kind of solidify this idea that, you know, you're on this new path. And though for all of you, you know, this may not have been like a direct forward step, you know, you all feel that, you know, at least in the People's Republic, you know, all of our individual things, you know, we're maybe getting a little bit closer to some of those things. As well as that, I just wanted to ask one final question before I hop in with something else. And the final question is this. Would any of you have gone into the wheelhouse during your time during this first day and checked out the wheelhouse? And if not, that's totally fine, but I was just wondering if anyone would have thought they might have gone in and checked it out.
Is that like the cockpit? Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cockpit, indeed.
definitely.
Yeah, at some point, well, maybe not now, but Ron's interested to, if we get to know Olafur, possibly teach him how to fly.
Awesome.
Shit, so maybe just like on the edge, maybe not in the room, just like standing, kind of watching through the window.
Cool, awesome, okay. In that case, that's fine with you, Ron. Arnar, if you went into the wheelhouse and like had a little peek around, whether Olafur was in there or not, can you please roll an investigation check for me, please?
Oh, you know I'd love to. 19.
Oh, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so let me just quickly find this for you. So, okay, so with a 19, you kind of look at the papers on the desk, and you can see that there's a big map in the center of the Sky Realm itself, very similar to the one that you guys have on your screen right now. And you can see, you know, that there's bits that are like ticked, basically. You can see that next to islands, there's like little boxes that have been filled in and ticked, basically. And with a 20 investigation, Arnar, you kind of can deduce that the last island, the freshest ink on there is Lacrima, and that it was ticked, basically. And that there's some kind of like journey that Olafur was taking, and he was, you know, checking off islands as he was kind of going. However, there is one thing that you 100% are able to discern from the map specifically as well. Arnar, as you lean in and you go to look at it, you get a smell. Baking powder and arcane fire is the smell that you get. It's basically like baking powder that has been burnt with some sort of arcane fire. And with your investigation check, you kind of like go closer to it and you sniff around the map until you find the source of where it's coming from. And you can see that where it is on the map, wherever this is, there's nothing there on the map. There's nothing there, and you can't see anything. But one thing you do know about this arcane fire and baking soda combination is that it's often used to write hidden messages, or often used to basically hide things, basically. You also know that a small amount of lemon could also reveal that, as you've often used that technique yourself when dealing with investigations yourself. So you know a small amount of lemon would reveal whatever was written in, I guess, invisible ink is how I would define it. The final thing that you notice as you're looking at all this stuff with your beautiful investigation check that you did, is you notice a note that has been quickly written. Again, you can see that the ink is fresher than everything else on the table. And the note says, "Tell Imani about the blast of energy. Heard a name, Martina. ... Could it be? ... And that's all the note says.
Would I have a lemon? I know it's a weird thing to ask, but if it is something I'm experienced with as an investigator,
Yes.
perhaps would I have a spare detective's lemon, as it's called in the business?
Lemon juice.
Well, I fully would be happy to let you do that. I want to know, though, truthfully, do you think Arnar, before leaving the People's Republic to come to Lacrima, packed his supply bag and had in there, his magnifying glass, maybe his lockpick stuff, and maybe a lemon in there as well, or was it just
I think it's probably lemon juice.
Yes, I feel like he would have. I mean,
Yeah.
being so close to him, I know he'd be super meticulous and get all that stuff. So
For
I
a guy
feel like
with pens, it's not that far hard. Like just
Yeah, he has his shit together. I mean,
Perfect. You indeed have some lemon juice on your person.
all right, I'm gonna
Cool.
get a
Can
lemon
you-
on there.
Can you make a stealth check to see if anyone can see you doing it, or a sleight of hand, whichever you prefer. And I'll tell you what happens in just a second.
12.
12. Okay. Rom and Blanco, you both notice Arnar is in the wheelhouse at this point. You can't see from the outside what Arnar is doing, but you definitely notice that he goes into the wheelhouse and is doing something. Arnar, as you kind of do a couple of drops on the map where you can smell this and you kind of smear it around, a circle begins to appear on the map. And the circle, again, is not around anything. There's nothing there. It's just simply a bit of what looks like open air on the map. But that's all that you can discern from dropping the lemon on this. There's just a circle of a drawn circle on the map with nothing there.
Can I approximate its coordinates in my notebook?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What I would say is, can you make a nature check for me, just because it is trying to approximate kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
can
6.
I give him advantage? While I go in and be like, hey, what you doing? Or is that too meta? Feels too meta.
I was gonna say it's a little bit too mad, but you do have
Stay with your six.
you do have bardic inspiration still from Toad earlier, I believe.
yes.
When did he give that to me though?
I believe it was
So
last episode, last session, basically. It was
it's only 10
It's
minutes.
only 10 minutes.
cool. In that case,
It's not
then,
Yeah,
Cool.
6.
So what you can discern, I mean, as far as working out coordinates, there's no numbers and there's no letters or anything. There's no longitude and latitude on this map. It's just a
Sure.
drawn map. So it's hard to kind of pinpoint it. But with your memory that you have, you can definitely remember. If you got another map, you could probably draw where the circle was. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That
Yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
fine.
Yeah. that
Perfect.
kind of-
Cool. Yeah, then I am getting rid of the invisible ink, I think, if there's some technique to do that, to kind of make myself scarce, and then I'm going to just kind of nonchalantly leave.
Amazing. and you managed to make it out without Olafur seeing you, and all's good. So, guys, as we now kind of begin to round out day one on the airship, you all kind of begin going down to the lower deck. Down there, you've got some hammocks, you've got the engine room to the far back of the ship, and as you go down, the heat from like the engine room, it's like noticeably a different heat when you go to the lower deck. It's a little bit warmer down here, and you can imagine in some temperatures that would be probably helpful. In other temperatures, you imagine it's probably not a great fucking thing in terms of having to deal with. But there's a lot of heat coming from like that door there. You can see that around the stairs that you've come down, there's like a bunch of kegs stacked at the back. There's some boxes around the side and a couple of like desks of drawers basically that are just kind of pushed up next to stairs. And then in the corners of the wall at the back of the ship, in the corners where the wall to the engine room kind of meets, there is crates of basically like cast iron ball bearings that you guys would assume are to be launched from catapults, basically. You can also see there's like portholes spaced like evenly across the wall, so you can actually get a little bit of light in from under here as well. And other than that, you can see in the front end of the ship, there's like a big pile of like blankets and like sacks and stuff, kind of all piled on top of some boxes. And you can see that it's been kind of formed into like a nest. And like just at the bottom of it, there's like a little placard that says Sato's bed, basically. And as you guys kind of come down here and begin preparing for the evening, you're making a couple of beds on the ground for a couple of you. A couple of you grab a hammock and choose a hammock and kind of begin hunkering down for the evening. Olafur assures you again before he goes to bed that the ship shall fly overnight without him needing to do anything, and that he can rest as well with you guys. But he does assure you guys that it should be fine unless something crazy happens. But everything should be fine basically. And with that, he basically goes to bed. And those of you who kind of are down there with passive perceptions, Arnar, Blanco, Rom, and Sergio, you guys all notice. You all notice that Olafur is looking up at something at the ceiling, and you see him kind of like touching something on the ceiling for a second before like kissing his hand and then like turning over for the night and going to bed basically.
Definitely.
You guys are welcome to do anything down here that you wish, as Olafur is now gone to bed. If you want to do anything before you guys finish out day one on the ship, on the Zephyr.
Yep, so I'm just going to do a Song of Rest, so just like a really kind of, calming kind of sound to kind of help everyone's nerves if they're feeling any kind of which way, so. Like a nice soothing song on the harmonica to kind of round out the night.
Amazing. That soothes and draws all of you in to, this gorgeous kind of tune, and with the hum of the engine in the background, and, the odd judder of the Zephyr itself, you all kind of begin slowly drifting off to sleep in your various places in this lower deck. As you guys fall asleep and you drift deeper into REM sleep and your minds begin to float away, you begin getting lifted out of your bodies and traveling across what feels like space and time until you're about to, travel into something, like you have done the last couple of times you've fallen asleep. But then suddenly you guys hear a voice. The voice is Olafur's voice. And suddenly, he breaks the silence, and you all awake to him going, "Get up! Get up! Oh my god! It sounds like there's lightning and thunder outside." Suddenly, as that happens, you hear a boom, and the ship shakes a little bit for a second. He's like, "It seems like there's a storm going on. I need all hands on deck. Everybody get up to the top deck." And he grabs his cloak off of a hook, his like leather coat, whips it around him, puts his arms in, and like runs up the stairs basically and goes up there.
I bound up after him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow
Yeah.
him, but don't know how to fly a ship. So, yeah.
Amazing.
With the swiftness, Evis follows, just like grabs their quarterstaff and just like Naruto runs almost.
Amazing.
I will, well, you Is Geo coming?
I'm up. Yep, I'm going up.
I will
as fast as I
teleport
can.
Geo to the top of the
Yep.
stairs.
Nice.
So extra speedy.
As you guys come up out of the lower deck, this is what you guys see. You come up onto the top deck, and you can see that on the side of the Gladius, a bridge has been connected and clamped down, and that there is a much larger Zephyr connected to your guys' ship currently. And you hear a voice over a tannoy come on, and it goes, hello, this is the Imperial Army. Hello. Due to new subsection 4732, we must check documentation of all ships entering Imperial airspace around the barrier. Also, we have noticed you have some damage to your hull. So, please, if you could put your hands up and present us with some documents, my crew will begin coming across now. And as this happens, you see two people basically step forward onto the bridge, and you can see they are dressed in beautiful, like, samurai type armor with these gorgeous shoulder pads that kind of flare up into a point. They've got this big flat hat that is metal, basically, with a big flat brim that is sharp, and you can see that the edge of it is like sharp. They have basically a kabuki mask that covers the lower half of their face, so you can see their eyes. Each of their masks are both blue in color and have like gnarly pointed like teeth, though each of them is ever so slightly different from the other. As you kind of pan down, they have like a chest piece with a symbol in the center. It's a water droplet with a barbed wire going around the outside. You will know this as the symbol of the Imperials. And as it goes down, you can see that they're also wearing, again, this layered kind of scaled armor on their legs, and at their hips they have a scimitar each. And they basically step forward, and one of them goes, documentation, please.
You take any damage?
Of course. Arnar, you definitely have some of the paperwork that we were. Sorry, you guys. We are a detective agency. We're just going through, completely legal. Arnar, you want to show them the documentation that we have?
Of course, yes. I'm going to look at. I'm going to have Oliver a very pointed look to see, like, is this like, are we screwed? Do we need to fight, or is this like?
He kind of takes a second. He's like, I have our ship documentation. I can grab that if you're okay with me. And he kind of puts his hands up. He's like, if you're okay with me entering the wheelhouse quickly to grab our documentation, I can get that and then come back out here for you guys and give that to you if that's all right. And the guard kind of like nods for a second. He's like, okay, well, one moment. And he steps into the wheelhouse, comes back with the documentation. He's like, here, and kind of steps forward and onto the bridge with the two soldiers and hands them the documentation. As he does, he turns round to look at you guys, and he gives a little shrug. As he shrugs, you see a fist raise above his head. Bam! The fist lamps him hard. Olafur falls to the ground in a crumple on the ground, unconscious. You see the two soldiers rip off the kabuki masks, and you can see as they pull off the helmets as well that one of them is a half-orc woman with big tusks and hair in dreadlocks, basically, that had been hidden under this hat. And there's a skull basically embedded in the dreadlocks that's kind of weaving all the dreadlocks through the eyes and things like that. The other person takes off their mask, and you can see that they have tattoos coming up their neck and are completely bald. With that, the voice comes back on the tannoy, and it goes, "He. We were just kidding. You have two choices. You come with us, or you die today. What should you like to do? Make your decision quickly." And with that, guys, we're going to end today's session.
Oh,
What?
Yeah. I was about to pop off the spell too.
What?
I'm about to pop off a spell, so we're getting next time.
Oh, man.
Right.
So, we are going to end it there, guys. Thank you fucking for this session. This has been amazing, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh my god.
Here
I am, like, would Evis have papers being from a monastery? Like, would that be a thing? Would we, like, you know, how churches, like, yeah, like how churches aren't, like, taxed here? Would we have official, like, paperwork? Like...
Well, you should, for tax purposes, you definitely should.
We can fabricate them.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Sky Realm. We really hoped you enjoyed seeing the team saying their goodbyes to the people of Lacrima and then boarding the Gladius, Olafur ship, and beginning their voyage towards the People's Republic, the biggest city in the Sky Realm. But obviously, with that twist at the end there, who knows what's going to happen in the next episode. So, if you've enjoyed this, like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, but also you can follow our Discord channel, basically our Discord server. We have a link in the description where you can find loads of behind the scenes content, all that kind of stuff, art from the show, and furthermore, if you happen to like MMA, it's a great place to discuss mixed martial arts and UFC stuff happening at the moment, as we have a couple of channels for that in there as well. So check that out. There is a link in the description. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys in the next one for what's going to happen to the team from this midnight ambush that they're encountering. We'll see you then, guys.